everybody. We're live
in studio.
Some sort of studio we've got going on.
In the living room. And it's our 1 year anniversary.
Oh my gosh! Yay! I don't want to scream too loud, but I'm so excited.
Happy anniversary.
I'm going to let you sing it.
Even though we both have colds. And we might be coughing this whole episode, but...
Exhausted from our trip, but... I was driving home from Nevada yesterday, and I don't know if it's because I'm about to start my period, but I was just, like, a little emotional. And I was thinking, like, I'm just so proud of us for doing this.
Every week.
Every week for a whole year.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't know, we just wanted to, like, present something to our friends and ourselves and find a creative outlet for, like, what we have to say in our thoughts, which I think is hilarious. And I just remember the time that we were we met in San Francisco and had brunch, and we were just, like, coming up with names and ideas and what we wanted to do, and now it's, like, we're just doing it. And I love it. And we've done it every single day, no matter what.
Yeah.
Or every single week, no matter what, not every day. It feels
that
like
would be a lot.
That would be a lot. But I'm just so proud of us, and I think we're doing such a good job, and I'm excited for the next year.
I know.
If this is what we've done in a year, what can we do in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
So
I feel like I went back and watched, like, some of our first videos, and we've just, like, physically changed so much in a year, and also I feel like we've learned so much, and we, like, are better at being able to interview people, and we know how to, like, edit an episode, and even just, like, the little skills. I feel like we learned so much, which is cool, and, like, have way better audio. That first episode, I was like woo!
You're like, oh my
goodness
gracious.
rough.
Yeah, no, we've learned a lot about stuff, and it's all been, like, a way to bring, like, we've had so many interesting people on the podcast, and I feel like I've learned so much about people that I wouldn't really have gone out of my way to ask, like, certain questions, and asking them about their podcast, or maybe, like, their camera or their audio, what their knowledge is, and being able to bring that back. Like, it's just been just such a way to build such a community around this podcast. It's been so much fun.
So fun. I also have loved, like, people reaching out and being like, I love that episode, or just those, like, little messages has been so nice. Even, like, last week, I visited a friend who used to live here, and she was like, I forget that we haven't talked because I, like, listen to your podcast, and it's like, I, like, catch up with you every week. And I'm like, ah!
I really love that. I know. My mom says the same thing. It's like sometimes she'll just know what's going on because people just listen to what we have to say. Like, I love that. It makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
I just thought, I was talking to you about it yesterday too, and I think this is how I want to be, like, entering in this new year, this new, like, phase of Polite as Fuck. And I went home for a little bit, and I was talking with my siblings, and obviously when you're talking with your siblings, they're going to bring up, like, everything that's going on in their lives, and I was showing up to the conversation as trying to, like, provide an answer for them of, like, this is how I lived my life, and these were the mistakes I made, so if you do it differently, you can have a better life, and, like, do it this way, not this way, or, like, I see what you're doing, trying to be, like, almost, like, godlike, like, looking and examining their life in such a wide lens. And I was like, oh, I see what you're doing, and I see the stress, but I swear, like, if you just do a little bit more, or just do it this way different, like, your life would be so much better, because those are the mistakes I made. And I could see it in their faces that this was not a helpful, helpful advice. Yeah. It was not a great conversation. And so I was just, like, reflecting a little bit on that, and everything, like, I feel I'm going through in my life of what do I wish I had, and all of those things. And I just, this, like, authentic, just the word authentic just kept, like, coming up. And I've talked about this before of, like, showing up and being, like, authentically myself. And I feel sometimes, especially as an older, like, the oldest, like, I want to put on this fake show of, like, I'll help you. I have it figured out. So let me show you and help you what to do so that you can take it, like, 7 steps ahead of me so that you can go further. And I think even when I was a kid, I felt like, not like parents or, like, mentors would do that too. And sometimes, like, I just wish I had someone to just say, like, it's okay where you're at. Like, you don't need to do anything. Like, it's okay to feel how you're feeling and all those things. And so I was just talking with my sisters about that and trying to be that person instead of like faking it. Like, what do I actually think? What do I actually feel? What is my actual advice? And not that I feel like I've been fake on the podcast, but I also think sometimes too is like, obviously people are listening. I want to come across as knowledgeable and I have it figured out. And, oh, like I'm unemployed, but I've got it going. Like I'm figuring it out.
We're having fun.
We're doing it, you know? And it's like, yes, to an extent, but also sometimes like I think instead of pretending to be someone I'm not or pretending like I have it all figured out in order to make myself feel better or have other people look at me differently, what I think I need and I can be this person to other people is just like, this is me, this is my life. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great. Like if I can be that person for someone else that I needed, like that is a win for me.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
Is that a thought?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I do feel like we have shared a lot of like personal stuff on the podcast.
So much, yeah.
Sometimes like I forget, like when we're in our living room talking, I'm just going and just saying
Same.
things.
Yeah.
And like I do try and filter out like people's names and try and be conscientious of that.
Right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying because there are some of the episodes like I look back and it's like maybe it wasn't our best episode, but I think that's also because we're like trying to be these like advice columnist people
Right.
and it's like we're not even sharing where we're at with it or
Right. Or I'll finish a thought or whatever, you know, thing is going on with, but if you do it this way, it'll really help, or what I found helpful, which is fine and it's true. But I also feel like sometimes being more honest of where I'm at, even if it is like I'm really struggling and I don't have advice. I don't have advice for you today. My advice is like lay down on the couch or, you know, whatever it is, whatever's going on. Because
Yeah.
I think if I were to hear, if I heard, or even now, like it with whatever I'm going through, if I heard someone say that, I'd be like, oh, okay. Like someone else is like dealing with the same sort of things or similar situations that I am, and it's okay to like fuck up or whatever. That is what I need, so I will be that person for people, which I think
Yeah.
I've said before, but it's just a constant reminder because it's like when you put a microphone and you have a camera on, like you automatically want to try to be not someone that you're not, but you want to present yourself as
The
your
best version.
the best version, which is
Yeah.
great, and I don't want to stop doing that, but I want to be just as honest as I am, like, oh man, if I come across this way, like I'll sound smarter, or I'll come across as like I really do have my life together, which is like, what does that even mean, you know? And so I don't know, goals, I guess, a thought
That's
that I had for the
yeah.
year of just like how
the
I
next
want
year
to
of the podcast.
present
Yeah.
myself. So
Do you have a favorite episode from the last year that we've recorded?
I honestly think the heartbreak episode.
I was gonna say the same.
I'm not gonna lie, when you said you wanted to talk about the breakups, I was like, I called home and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah.
And like Sophia was like, she was on the podcast, so I can say her name, but Sophia was like, you don't have to do anything. And I was like, no, maybe it'll be helpful to like work through. I was really, really nervous. There's very few times, maybe when we have like guess that I'm not sure, that my heart gets like a little like, ooh. But when it's just us, like now I'm chilling.
Yeah.
That episode, I was sweating. I was nervous. I really wanted to do like the research and like come across and like, how am I going to present myself? What are my actual feelings? I think I've listened to that episode the most.
Yeah,
of
I've
like,
listened back to that a few times.
wow, okay. Like that was helpful.
It was very like cathartic.
Yes.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was nervous for it too. I was nervous of seeming like I've been out of a relationship for however many months it had been, and I'm still like so upset. And yeah. But I also feel like it was so validating doing all that research of like, especially thinking about, I don't even remember what it was called, but like that you can go between those phases at any time.
Yes.
That was so helpful for me of like, why do I feel like it's been 6 months and I'm like feeling like we just broke up or something. Yeah.
That I think was a really helpful stage in my healing process because it had been so long, and I talked about it then of like, oh, it's been like X amount of years and yada yada, like I don't know what's going on or how I feel. And I think that really helped of like talking it through and actually laying out like, oh, this is what it looks like. People go through this all the time. There's a name for that. There's like a reason why you feel that way. Was so helpful to hear. And I think that's why it's one of our best episodes, because I feel like we really did show up
The most
authentic in that episode. It was really, really good.
I also really liked Hookups and Hangovers.
That reel that we have where everything is going wrong, the microphone tips into your face, you're talking about anal or something. I died. That's a good episode. We'll have to do that again.
It felt like the best part usually of going out is like the before.
Yeah. Oh,
like
fully.
the getting ready, the drinking games, whatever. And that was just like, it was so fun.
Yeah.
And funny. And
it was so funny. That is a good one. I did like our Mother's Day episode too. Mm-hmm. I've liked all of them, but yeah, those two were really good.
Yeah, the Mother's one was also on the top. I feel like top 3 is those. I also really enjoyed the conversations we had with Savannah and my sister, because it was just like those were conversations we hadn't had before, and being able to be like set aside that time to talk.
All of our guests have been just so we've talked to all of them, but it's just the setting makes it so different, and having to like come up with specific questions for that topic, for that person, and hearing like their side of things was just so nice. I feel like I really got to know. We have like I said, this little community that we built with all of these like special people of, you know, all of us are dealing with life in different stages. And so to be able to like put them on and hear it and have other people in our lives listen to that too was just really special. So thank you to all of our guests that have come on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love our guests.
It's been good.
Yeah.
A good year. I'm happy about it.
Me too. And I'm really excited for this next year. I feel like we have ideas, we have things that we want to do, and it can only go up from here. Mm-hmm. Yay. But in celebrating our year anniversary, you had found this article with some questions, and
my friend had told me about it, because we were talking about like dating or something, and she was like, have you heard of like the 36 questions to fall in love? And I was like, no. But she's like, I've done it with friends before, not all of them, but it's really just like questions to get to know someone on a deeper level. They're like questions that you don't usually ask people, especially in like getting to know someone in the beginning. It's usually like, how many siblings do you have? What do you do for work? What's your favorite color? Bleh. And so we thought it'd be fun to ask some of these to each other, because we've been talking together for a year, and at least the ones that I picked out, I don't think I've ever asked you before.
Me either. And I think too, just what I had said about like showing up authentic is, I think I know you because we've known each other for so long, and I think you know me as well, and we do know each other, but to come up and like have these like very specific questions and answer them as how we're feeling right now would just be really special for our year anniversary.
Year 1.
Yay.
Okay, let's do it.
So I went through like the not so intense ones first, and then it gets like significantly more like intense. I don't know if that's the right word, but the first one is, would you like to be famous? Why or why not? And then if yes, for what?
I think that the idea of being famous for like being able to make money because you're well known for something, like that's appealing to me. But the con of that, of like not being able to like walk outside or like having someone take pictures of me on like any day at any time, is like not ideal.
No.
It's more of I feel like I'd like to be like internet famous. Like if someone saw me on the street, they probably wouldn't recognize me type thing. But like I'm well known for the podcast, or for like, I think more of like when I start teaching spin class, like a lot of people come to my class because they really like it. That type of thing. Maybe local fame.
Yeah.
It's what I think. Because I don't know, like if I think of like large scale, I don't even know what I would be famous for.
Right.
Because I'm not like, I play an instrument. I'm not going to become an actor. the only thing I can think of is something on the internet, and maybe that's the podcast. But I feel like if I saw some of the people that I listen to on a podcast out on the street, I don't know that I would like
Be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I'd have to be like sitting there staring and be like, oh, hey, that's that person.
Right.
So
That's a good one.
I feel like, yeah. What about you?
I would love to be famous.
For what?
I would love to be an actress. I feel like I'd be so good at it. I also think, yeah, I don't know. But there is like that side of things of like the appeal of it makes it seem like it would be so much fun. But I think it's a lot harder than you're just, yeah, your life is just such a change. And I don't know if I would be able to handle that. But of course, like, I would love to be famous. It'd be so much fun.
What kind of acting would you do?
Drama. I feel like I
Like
would
a
be
theater?
so no,
Oh.
like movies.
Oh, okay.
But like in like drama. Like I'm not very like I feel like for the podcast is where I'm like myself and I think I'm a funny person so I can show up and have these like jokes, but I feel like I can like get into like a character and I can cry pretty easily. So I feel like that would be
You
able
should
to...
do it.
Yeah, but
We're
it's
so
like
close to LA.
oh my God, I know. But it's also like I love the idea of it, but I also think I don't know what I'm...
What's stopping you? The rejection? That's a
Yeah.
that's a big thing. When I was like dating
so
someone in LA, it's like
throat.
you like spend all this time making these like self tapes and stuff, and then you either don't hear back or it's like a no.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a lot of no.
Yeah, it's a lot of no. And I don't think like it would be fun if it just like fell into my lap, obviously. But I think for the work that you really have to put into something like that and like it's your job.
Yeah.
To work for it like that, I feel like my energy and my time could be better spent elsewhere and things that are more important to me. So it'd be like a fun little like side thing, but it's not really like a side thing. So I've like thought about it in that sense, but not enough for me to be like, no, this is a passion of mine. But I do agree with you. Like, obviously if like the internet fame would be awesome, especially with the podcast, because it's like myself, I'm not trying to be anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
That'd be
And like the
cool.
money and just the idea of like being able to like take care of my family would be
Just by like being you.
just by being me.
Yeah.
Would be awesome. That would be
cool.
that would be really nice. But then there's the whole like I don't know, like does
You're
that
hyper,
amount
like,
of
criticized of everything.
exactly and like does that change someone? Like I don't really want to lose myself and have that like factor into it. And like does money affects people? How would it affect me? Like would I be a nice person? I would like to think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not something that I would like go off and like it's like a passion of mine. But I'm like, oh yeah, I could be famous. I used to when I was a kid pretend I was Britney Spears, which now I don't. poor Britney. And I would when we would go skiing, I would be skiing down the mountain like full on screaming, "Oops, I did it again!" Like. Or like any of her songs. And so like and I would put on these like shows for my parents of like we had this like fireplace and I'd have like my microphone and they would like stage up like I'd put all like my Beanie Babies out like they were my
Your audience?
my audience. And oh my gosh, but I cannot sing. That's why I'm like actress would be mine because musical is gonna be a no.
That's funny. I used to want to be a fashion designer, but that's like behind the scenes.
You're like
Yeah.
you're still just like you're famous for something would be nice. Yeah, but it would be like my face, I don't know.
No, if you want to do it. That'd be fun. You'll be in front of the camera and I'll be behind it.
Love it. You can build my fashion.
Yeah. Okay. What would constitute a perfect day for you?
Waking up feeling like I would want to be like sunrise to sunset. Like I love the morning. Like I would want to be like I want to do all of that, like be awake for all of that and see that. But I would want to like wake up and feel like fully rested. It's like a main thing because I don't know. The older I get, the more like not rested I feel. It's so annoying. I think I don't know. I don't know if I have like a schedule, but I think some like being with family, something outdoors. I kind of picture like it sounds like like a house somewhere where it's like an open floor plan and all of the doors are open so you can still be outside but you're also inside and like the whole family is there and it's just like loud and chaotic, like people are screaming but like for the right reasons and everybody's like talking and having conversation and there's good food and good drinks. Yeah, because I think that's where I've been like the happiest, and you can still get that like outsideness, but it's not necessarily, because not everybody I love is gonna go on like a 12-mile hike, so I don't know if that's and I don't think a perfect day for me would be me being alone. I think it would be with like with people. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question because there's so many things that I like.
I feel like there's so many versions of what a perfect day could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds like a really nice one.
Yeah.
Also a really nice house.
Yeah. Yeah, wherever that house is. And somehow getting everybody I love into one spot with nobody arguing. That would be a perfect day. What about you? What would be your perfect day? Or what would constitute a perfect day for you?
I was thinking about it, and like I would have no chores that I need to get done.
Yep.
Because coming back home, I'm like putting away my laundry. I'm like, I don't want to do this, and like doing the dishes. So it's like I have no chores. Honestly, I had like kind of a perfect day when I was in Santa Barbara, and I feel like I would make small tweaks. So like wake up in this like beautiful little like tree house thing that I was in before the sunrise, go on a hike. I feel like being outside the minute that I wake up is really nice, and like being up with the sun, I agree, is really nice. Coming back, taking a shower, going to like meet some friends for coffee or something. I do love like a coffee shop, meet up, hang out for a second. And then probably time with family in the like afternoon, and we all have like dinner together and hang out. Like if I could if I could combine aspects of when we're up at the condo in Tahoe, like everyone, like we're playing pickleball after dinner and like have good food, and it's like very communal, which is nice.
Communal is a great word.
Yeah, and like no one's really on their phone because we're like all together, which is so rare.
I just like when, you know, like when you're doing that kind of stuff and everybody, like you have one family in one spot, like a few people in the living room doing one thing, and then like some people are outside and then some people are in the kitchen. Like I like, that's why I said like open floor plan is because it's such a large enough space that everybody is kind of everywhere and you can kind of like go to your different spots. Whereas like I don't think I would want to do like a sit down dinner, because then it's like, oh, we're all like kind of confined, and I don't really like that. Like it's kind of like buffet style. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing, walking around, but we're all like clearly in this one like compound of space.
Yeah, and you can like weave in and out between the different people, which is really nice.
Yeah,
too.
Or like still have that time to like be by yourself, but you can still hear what's going on, and like I don't know, that'd be nice. Okay. This one's a little silly. Do you rehearse what you're going to say before a phone call? Yes or no? And why or why not?
I feel like when I was younger, yes, I would like actually like practice what I was going to say because I was nervous. I feel like now I really do like prep any possible thing, like especially making calls for like an appointment or something. Like I have every possible thing that they might ask me ready.
Social security, boom. Driver's license number, boom.
Got it. All my credit cards, every bill I've ever received from you. Like I'm ready. I don't necessarily practice what I'm going to say, but I just am like very prepared. If it's not like a medical call or something, some like appointment, if it's friends, no. If it's like someone that I'm getting to know, or like, you know, when people are like, you want to FaceTime when you're like getting to meet someone, I really like pace. Like I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about? Yep. And like,
me too.
Just back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the same.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, I definitely used to rehearse what I was going to say. I'm not friends. Not necessarily will I rehearse, but I won't be like, "Hi, this is Elizabeth." Like, I won't do that, but I'll be like, "Okay, what am I trying to get to? Like, what am I trying to say?" Like, I just get so...
I'll practice the hello, actually.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Hey, hello."
Yeah.
I had someone one time tell me, they were like, "You seem really out of breath." Because I had been like walking back and forth because I knew they were going to call soon. And then they answered and I'm like, "Hey," like really like
just waiting for that call, running, doing laps as preparation. That's funny.
I don't know why it's scary. Or like,
I don't know.
Nerve-wracking. There it is again. Nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I also think too, like, in my mind, I sound so put together, and then when I start talking, I clearly am so jumbled. So I'm like, okay, if I can lay out exactly what I'm gonna say, I'll have it put together. But that's interesting that you bring up like FaceTime, like people that you're trying to get to know, because that brings me so much anxiety.
Yeah.
But I would much prefer that over texting so that I can like get to know them, they can get to know me. But I'm just like I'd probably answer the phone out of breath because I'd be like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know how to handle it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's funny. Also like what Alex said in the dating episode of like doing that before a date. Like, that's why I usually try and say yes, because I'm like, if we can't have like a FaceTime conversation, I'm definitely not going to go on a date with you.
Yeah, which is a good point. It just, I'm like, why?
Do you like, if you're going to go on a date, do you think you practice like
everything? Yeah. Yes. Or in the car, I'll like have a full on conversation myself. And sometimes I will be like 5 minutes in and I'll be like, what the fuck?
If someone had a mic in here, they'd be like, this girl is actually psychotic.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, because I don't want to overshare, but I also, I will practice and rehearse. And yet it's still...
Yeah, it just goes right out your brain the moment you see them.
Sometimes they'll be like, how old are you? And I'm like, how many siblings do you have? I'm like, these are easy. These are the most basic questions.
Questions I've known my whole life.
Literally. Have not changed.
Yeah. That's funny.
Even sometimes they're like, what's your name? And I'm like, Elise. Okay. What? I don't even know. Don't know what my name is. I've lost it.
Well, yours is like unique because your name's Elizabeth. People call you Ellie, but it's spelled like Eli, so sometimes they call you Eli if they don't know.
You're telling me it's crazy.
Okay, this one's kind of morbid, but do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
I had that on mine too. Okay. That's when I was growing up, I was really, I get a lot of anxiety around crossing streets. Like, I really don't like crossing streets. I feel like everybody's watching. You never know what cars are going to do. Like, it just brings me, like, this intersection by our house, fucking hate it. I hate it. I wish we could avoid it, but there's no other way to get out of here. That is you have to go to that intersection.
Yeah.
So I always thought, like, maybe by, like, car accident, like crossing, like hit and run type situation when I was younger. Now I feel like I don't think that's gonna happen, so I don't really know. But that was like one that I thought about a lot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why you hate it. I like it's annoying, but I didn't realize it was like because you thought you were gonna die.
Yeah, it brings me a lot of like anxiety.
Did something happen?
No, I just don't. I don't know what it is. I don't like when people watch me, and I feel like when there's like cars and they're like, I'm like, I walk weird and my face is weird and the dogs are doing something annoying. Like, I just wish. But when people are crossing the street and I'm in the car, don't give it a second thought. Don't think about it. But when I'm the one walking, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I need to be like aware of I will turn down my music. I will move like my head. If I'm wearing my big headphones, I'll like move them out of the way so I can like hear everything.
Wow.
Yeah. But as a kid, I was like, it's because like I would place myself around people so that I don't get hit, and they do. Like I just, I did not like it. I hated crossing the street. I hated it.
Wow.
I still hate it now, but I don't think that's how I'm going to die. I don't know how I'm going to die. Old age, I hope.
Yeah, that's the hope, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a hunch on how you're going to die?
I also hope old age, but I think about dying in a car accident
way more
daily.
Really, yeah.
Like when I go to sleep, if I'm like if my mind is racing, I usually go to this like really crazy car accident scenario in my head that like freaks me out, and I'll be like crying, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
And I used to have like bad dreams about like my family dying in car accidents.
My family has a really bad history of car accidents.
Really?
My grandmother and Anais were in a car once, and they got into a really bad car accident. Like, they were in a really, really bad car accident, and then my dad got into a really bad car accident the only reason why he survived is because he was in his truck. And he was, I don't know where it was back in the Bay Area, and it was actually at the time, my dad and I weren't talking at this time, and like I found out through my mom, and I didn't reach out at the time. It was like a whole crazy thing.
Yeah.
And like seeing pictures, he had a huge like Ford F-250, like it was a massive truck, the blue truck that he used to have, and it saved his life. And I think he had like flipped and into the incoming traffic, and people were just like continually hitting him. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was dark.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And like had to go like everybody was hospitalized. And then pretty recently, when I was living in the Bay Area, on East got into a car accident, which was like scary. Yeah. Like, we have a bad like car. Yeah. There's like a few car accidents that have happened in the family, like very like near misses that are very, very scary. That's why I really liked my truck, because I was like, nothing is going to happen to me in this thing. It's huge.
Yeah. That's also why I want a bigger car.
Yeah.
Being in California, I'm like, everyone here is an idiot, and I'm going to die, and I need like a bigger vehicle.
Yeah.
But when I tell people, text me when you get home, it's genuinely because I have a fear that you will die in a car accident, and I would like to know that you made it home. It's a genuine thing that if I don't hear from people, I most likely will text them later in the night and be like, hey, you made it?
Yeah.
Even like dates, because like that I don't even like care to see them again. It's like I really do want to know that you are alive.
Safe. Yeah.
I don't know why
that's
that is.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. But I like prefer driving. I think it's because it's like then I know like that I am in control, and I like to think that I will get us there safely.
Interesting. Well, we're gonna go to the grocery store after this, and now I'm like really, really nervous to drive. You can drive my car now.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
That was dark, but yeah.
That's
plays a lot in my mind.
That's good to know. Very interesting to know. Okay. What in your life do you feel most grateful for?
Well, the most grateful.
Oh, wow. What? Why am I crying? Okay.
I'm scratching my boob and you're sobbing. That's really hard. I want to make like a blanket statement and say like the relationships in my life. I feel like the older I get, the more I realize how important those are above everything else. Mm-hmm. And like, I feel like, especially as a teenager, you're like, I want to have a house. I want to make money. I want to do the things. And like, it just like doesn't matter.
No.
And like even traveling and having the like moments by myself recently, I like really longed. Like, it's like, okay, when you travel, you go out to eat, you go out, you see a museum. Like, yes, these are all cool things. But it is not the same as, like, sharing that with a person. Mm-hmm. Whether that's, like, a friend or your family or, like, an intimate relationship. And I feel like I'm really thankful for our friendship. Like, I missed hanging out with you the last 3 weeks, even though I was like hanging out with other people. I was like, I miss Ellie.
Yeah, same.
And like being with my sister, I was just like so, I don't know. It's like I feel so blessed to have such great people in my life and to feel so connected to them and to be able to share those things. So probably that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think that's a good answer. When you're younger, you don't have a concept of the fact that like everybody has the same like amount of feelings and emotions and are living life and like such a complex life and thoughts and just everything. It's because you're so like selfish, which is great. That's what you're supposed to do as a kid. But the more and more I'm like, even just like people walking across the street, even if I'm like doing something like random people, I'll be like, you have like a whole life. Like you, as much as I'm dealing with whatever I'm dealing with, like you must, like you're doing that too. And so that has been like, I've been thinking about that a lot. And so when I'm with the people that I do love and I think about that, like it just gets me like, I use you as support and like you use me as support, and it's just like beautiful how like we're both on this like path of life and now we kind of like get the opportunity to do it together. So that's nice. I think too, like I don't feel like I need to fill my cup by having like a bunch of people in my life. So the people that are in my life mean so much to me, and like that's always like special because they're all like so different and so unique. So yeah, I have to say relationships. They mean it. I also think like too, and I think you can agree with this, is like I love all my friends. I love everybody in my life, but like to be an older sister, there's nothing like it. Like it's just nothing like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I started crying. Because I was thinking about what I was most grateful for, and then I started thinking about my sisters, and I was like, okay, stop, reel it in.
Yeah. Anytime I like, when I'm not with my siblings and I look at pictures of us, I can like sob in an instant.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, my love for these humans is crazy.
Crazy.
Okay. Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? Is it acting?
Yeah, I feel like acting would be like the main one. I also feel like I always wanted to be a Nat Geo photographer because I liked, or like journalist, because you get to travel, but you get to like immerse yourself and see like real life. Like you're not just doing like basic stuff. Like you're interviewing people, you're seeing like what's going on. You're placing yourself like in this sometimes very dangerous places or positions just for the fact of like bringing light upon whatever it is that you're trying to do, or you know, letting people know in the world of what's going on, like knowledge, and trying to have everybody have access to this one thing that maybe not everybody will be ever get the chance to go see. And I always thought that was like really special. I think why I haven't done it, money, life, not like as much as a priority. It's like a thought, but not necessarily like this like deep fueling passion of mine. But I think, yeah, between those two of just like this need to like see and do everything, but in a way where, I don't know, the thing that was so special about Australia is I did it in such a different way that people don't ever really do. And so even though like I get upset when I didn't go see like all of the beaches or all the animals or all of these things, which is like something that I want to do in the future, but what I did was so crazy because I got to know these people on the other side of the planet in the middle of fucking nowhere that are just people on such an intimate level. It was very, very special. So to do that like in different places would be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever like looked into what it takes or anything?
No.
It's just like a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be your retirement, Ellie, is like you go take pictures and bop around.
Yeah. And meet people.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. What about you? What have you had like something that you've like dreamed about for a long time of doing, and why haven't you done it yet?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is the PCT. And like ever since I learned that was a thing, I was like, I want to do that someday. I feel like that would be just like such a cool experience, and like I love the West Coast. But I feel like to see it in that way, and like just I think the growth that would happen on that would be amazing. Why I haven't done it is usually because of work or things that are going on in the summer. It takes a lot of planning. I feel like logistics and not wanting to like miss out on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been thinking a lot about it, and like maybe it would be depending on how this winter is, like a possibility next year. I don't know, just like with whatever is happening in life. Could be cool.
Would you want to do it in like segments, or you would want to do like from start to finish?
I feel like I would want to do it start to finish. I feel like that would be just like a life bucket list thing.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list too.
Yeah.
PCT would be awesome. I have thought about doing it from start to finish, but just with like life and dogs, I've more so like shifted of doing like each summer do like a segment. I had a professor in college that did it like that, and she had just completed her like second to last one, and she was about like the year that I was graduating, she was going to go do the last one. And I was like, oh, that's like, I mean, you're still doing it, you're just doing it like in a different way. Yeah,
that's a cool, yeah.
That's a great little
it's
list.
a big thing.
Yeah.
Ever since I read Wild,
Mm-hmm.
and just like I don't think I really liked the movie. I don't even remember the movie, but the book was really good. And I feel like seeing how much she grew on that and like learned, and obviously it was like really hard, and she had some crazy things happen. I'm like, I feel like I need that in my life.
Yeah. I think as like an outdoor person, like the planning side of things, like I would need everything to be like, I can't just be like, oh, okay, like I'll go do that. I don't know. Like
I mean, oh yeah, you have to have like stuff mailed to you,
Yeah.
with the little stops and all that stuff, and
it would be awesome though.
it'd be crazy.
Really.
A cool experience.
Very interesting. Yeah, the things that you would overcome during that, I think even just like mentally would be interesting.
Yeah.
What do you value most in friendships?
I've thought about this a lot recently because of being around other people, meeting new people. I feel like it is so powerful to be able to be comfortable enough with someone that you don't have to be doing anything. Which is like, I know, kind of boring answer, but I've missed that. Like, I've missed being able to just be like, yeah, in our house, whatever. But like, there are times when like we don't speak for a while. We're both just doing our thing, but it's like so comforting knowing that you're like around and here, and like we randomly like, I'm like, oh, haha, here's a stupid thing I thought of, and then we go back to doing our thing, and like that is so rare. Like I'm very thankful for all the relationships in my life that I have and the friendships. And maybe it's because we do live together and because we've known each other for so long. But, like, I'm very, very thankful for that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Honesty. And I mean that both ways. I can tell. I want to say, like, I'm an honest person, but I don't want to, like, hurt people's feelings. So sometimes I'll kind of, like, weave around what I'm trying to say. Or if they're, like, asking for advice. You know, when it comes to, like, my siblings, I'm quick to be like, don't do that. Or, like, you look ridiculous. Or, like, what's going... You know, like, I'm quick to show up pretty honest. But when it comes to friendships, I get nervous because I'm like, I don't want to upset you. I don't want you to, like, not be my friend anymore. And I don't want to be, like, a dick. So I don't know how honest to show up, but when someone is honest with me in a friendship and can word it obviously in a way that's like nice, I appreciate that because it makes it feel less like forced. It feels very like beautiful, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is real now that you're able to like give me like feedback. You're just giving me like honest opinions of whatever it is going on, and then I feel like safe enough to give you my honest opinion of whatever is going on. I also do appreciate when people remember like little details. Like when I'm talking with people and they like remember my birthday or remember like a situation that had happened or one like something that may seem like so insignificant to other people, but I'd mentioned it once or a few times and that person remembers. It's just like, I'm like, I love that you were like listening. And when I can do that to them too, I'm like, okay, this is like more than just we're friends. This is like a friendship. Mm-hmm. So I think those two, I really do value both of those a lot.
Those are good. Yeah, the little things is like, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're the best. If you remember those small things or bring it back up or follow up with something we were talking about last time. Like, yeah.
Just like shows that you care. Mm-hmm. I love that. Even if it's like the smallest thing, like my order at a certain restaurant or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be this like big thing, but just those little details.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's good. Okay, well, since you took that one, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
I feel like right now in my life, I have all of these things in my mind of what I want to do, but when I wake up, I either get sidetracked or other things happen where it doesn't like necessarily get done, and I lack motivation or like determination. So I feel like a quality would be like one of those. I don't know what the right one, just like that, like I have the idea and I know like, but actually to like execute it and put in the like effort that it takes to do that with anything. Like sometimes I'm just like with a project, with like eating better, not spending money, smoking, drinking, like if I just do that one step, the hardest part, like just like a little bit of motivation would be awesome to have right now. That would be the quality.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that
like
one.
Oomph, you know, just like oomph. Like so passionate and motivated to just do this one thing that I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I would get so much done. Oh my gosh.
I feel that way about people that have, like, I don't want to say ADHD because that's not what I want, but, like, so much energy. Like, they like, wake up and they, like, have to, like, be doing things.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, my gosh, if I had that, which obviously grass is always greener, but, like, not that I don't have energy. Like, I'm not, like, a sloth all the time. Yeah. Maybe it's just because we're both not feeling great, but, like, it's been really hard for me to like clean my room up and like do these little things that like I know don't take a ton of time, but I'm like, if I had the energy, I would just be like boom, 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 get all these things done, do all the other things. Yeah.
Or just like, not even that I need to do like all of this all the time, but if I have like an idea of my mind, like a project, I just like sit down and I do it and I'm proud of myself for completing it. But we've talked about this before, like, why are projects the hardest so fucking thing?
I know.
And I get these like bursts of like, I'll do it and I'll lay everything out and then that takes up all my energy and I'm like,
now I actually have to start it and that's a whole other thing. Yeah, I get that. Why is that?
I don't know. I thought it was because of smoking, but I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was little, though, the, like, question of, like, what superpower would you want to have, I always chose invisibility.
Interesting.
Because I could, like, sneak onto a plane and go travel. I could do all sorts of things because I'd be invisible.
Mine was always to fly. My favorite dreams were, like, Peter Pan dreams.
Yes.
I vividly remember I had one. It was my favorite, where I would be, like, flying around the living room. And then my mom would be like, it's time to eat. And I'd be like, dang it. And I'd have to like come down from the ceiling and go eat.
That's funny, man. I thought, does everybody have those flying dreams when they're a kid?
Did you have that?
Oh my God,
dream?
all the time. And I loved it. And we had this, it was in the house in 29 Palms, and we had this like staircase. And I just remember like, is it like Casper? I'd be like, shoo, shoo. Down like the banister, flying through.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That flying would be cool. It's just like birds and bugs and stuff.
But then you could just fly wherever you wanted. You wouldn't have to be invisible on an airplane.
That's true. That's very true.
Someone might sit on you.
That's true. Yeah, where would I stand? What would I do?
Just like crouch by the bathroom.
Ew. In the cockpit. Just like hold on to the sides.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
You could just be up with the pilots. They want to know.
Seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It's my turn now.
Yeah.
What are 3 very specific things that we have in common?
Oh, I was going to do this. Very specific things.
Like, not just like, we like to podcast and we're outdoorsy. Like, I was trying to think, like, what are specific things that we have in common? Because there are
so many things. Yeah. Okay.
Cricket.
I'm thinking of...
When you laugh like that, I always am nervous of what's going to come out.
I feel like we have a similar level of patience for obnoxious behavior. Like, I'm just thinking of what we were talking about before the podcast started, that person. When I feel like we both can, like, give each other a look and know that this is, like, what is happening, or, like, is this for real? Whereas with other people, like, when I was talking about on the trip I was just on, I'm like, am I the only one that's thinking this?
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like I feel like you and I relate in that way of, like, wow, this person is really doing the most right now.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot. That's very true.
Okay, 2 more. I mean, this is not as specific as I would like it to be, but I think we both are, like, really proud to be the older sibling. And, like, our love for our younger siblings. I think we both get, like, so emotional whenever we talk about it. And, like, I know I've, like, cried to you about just, like, random things about, like, just wishing I could, like, be there for them. And you have felt similarly. So I feel like we can relate in that way. And then a 3rd one. Well, I'm like, we both love to be outdoors. We both love, but I'm like, what is
That's what I was going to say is, like, I feel like, not to steal yours, but I'm very grateful for the fact that we both enjoy, like, to move our bodies. We don't necessarily like doing the same activities all the time, but I think it's, like, a priority in both of our lives to be doing something. To be active. Which isn't, like, super specific, but I feel like there are some, like, friendship. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true, because there are some people where I was like, I would feel bad asking them to, like, go on an 8-mile hike with me or something. Right. Whereas I feel like we can just, like, go on a hike and not know how long it's going to be, and I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, Ellie's, like, really hating this.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yes.
We're just doing our thing.
Yeah.
Okay, there's so many that I could say, but I just looked at the painting in my room, and I feel like we both have, like, an appreciation for art, but, like, not in the sense of, like, oh, that's really pretty, of, like, appreciation of, like, what it took to make that thing. And, like, I think of, like, going to, like, the Portland farmers market or something, and, like, not feeling, like, rushed to, like, get through something. It's like we're both, like, taking the time to appreciate what these people have made, and it's, like, a whole experience that we enjoyed.
I love that. Those are good.
All right, your turn. It's hard because there's broad ones. You can group a lot of things into a category. I don't know how much more specific you can be.
Yeah. I think we're both very loyal. And I know that's, like, broad, but I don't think there's a lot of people that are as loyal as we are. And that's not, like, a trait you can, like, learn. You kind of, and I don't know if it's the older, like you said, like, just being the oldest. But, like, just thinking of, like, aspects of our lives, and, like, we like different people, we have different, like, friends, all of these things, like, are different, but, like, the loyalty stays the same with, like, all of it. I don't know how, like, I feel like we would, like, go to battle for each other and for the people that we love. I think of, like, the other night when I was, like, getting yelled at for, like,
apparently being too drunk and not being able to get water. And Taylor was like, Ellie was ready to like go to battle for you. And I was like,
that really
I feel like
pissed
if
me off.
roles were reversed, it would be the same. Or like if someone's like being obnoxious, like I'm gonna like be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like back to them, because it's like, no.
Yeah. And I just even think too, like, the way that you speak about friends and your family, and like it's just like, obviously we can shit talk for sure, but there's like that line, and I feel like you're just, when you're telling me a story, or if I'm telling telling you a story about someone, like the way that we like word it is just very like loyal. Like we can still like give our opinion, but still be like, I don't know, you know, it's just it's I love that about us.
That's a good one. We both love SZA. That's a specific.
That is specific. The outdoors one is the, like, I know that's like the active piece, but there's, again, not a lot of people who will do like a 3-day camping trip or like the Lost Coast Trail like we did and be okay
and
at the
get
end
lost.
of those. Yeah, and get along at the end of that. Crazy. I think I make it a little bit more of like my personality of being sassy, but I think we are both very sassy people. Sometimes you say stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, damn. I think I just make it more of like I'm the sassy one, but I think you're sassy as hell. And I think that's what makes us get along so well.
Yeah, it's true.
I think maybe I'm more, well, I was going to say I'm more sassy like outside and you're sassy inside, but I don't think that's true either, because you can get feisty outside too.
I feel like it's also when I'm with you, because I'm so comfortable and I know that you're not going to be like, wow, this girl's like a bitch or something.
No, I'm over there like, go off, say it louder.
So then it just comes out in full force. But that's actually very true. That's a really good one.
Oh my god. It's just some things. I love it.
Yeah.
And the looks that we give each other, sometimes I'm like, what the hell? It is such a good one.
Okay. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
This is hard because I've done like so much work to be okay with how I grew up. Mm-hmm. And there's like aspects that I didn't like. Like if you would have asked me this when I was a kid, it would say like not to be in, not necessarily a military family, but to move around so much. But now it's like, I loved it. I really did. As much as I thought I did it, it made me like easy to get to know people and go out of my comfort zone and do things. Like I'm appreciative of that. Probably be way closer to my extended family. I'm very close with my parents and my siblings, and I think as time has gone on I get like closer, but like some people will talk about like going to visit their grandparents all the time, and they talk to their grandparents and their aunts and uncles on both sides, and I feel like because of moving around so much and us not living in the same area or even relatively close to all of those people, I missed out on that. And I wish, because now it's like, it's really hard for me to pick up the phone and call these people. Like, I have to, like, the effort to put into it, whereas I think some people that made it such a priority don't have to put in as much effort. It's, like, second nature.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
And then maybe just, like, a little bit more of my culture. Like, I wish we spoke Spanish at home.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I feel similarly of like, it's hard to say like, oh, I wish I would have changed something, because it's like, this is what made me who I am.
Yeah.
And like, because of these things, I have these stories or like ways to relate to people. But if I had to pick something, I feel like I wish there wasn't this need to be like strive for perfection. Like like obviously that's a good, like, yeah, we're gonna be good, we're gonna be the best, but I feel like I was like always trying to be some type of way depending on who I was with, and I never really knew like who am I actually, because it's like at church I'm like trying to say all the right answers and be this person. And then with my parents, it's like I don't want to tell them that I actually like feel a different way, or like I'm struggling with something, because I want them to think that I'm a good kid and that I'm like doing the best that I can. And then I don't know, I feel like there was just a lot of like masks or like facades that I would wear to try and like come off as this like perfect person for people.
Yeah.
And I think that just like it made it difficult for me to know what my actual like my own boundaries were and standards, because they would change depending on the person I was with.
Yeah.
And I think there was just a lot of like shame and stuff when I wasn't perfect, which no one is. So that was a little tricky to navigate.
It is a hard question, because it's like there are things, and there were definitely a lot of things that I would have changed in the moment. But looking back, it's like this all made me who there's a reason why that happens. It's just like part of growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always like hindsight's always 2020. And I used to say to myself like, oh, when I have kids, I would never do it this way or whatever. And then it's like, how do you actually know?
How do you know? And I'm growing up and I'm like, oh God, kids. And I was like, yeah, you see? Yeah, I get it.
I know. And like, especially kids now, like my parents did the best they could with what they had, but they also didn't have to navigate all this like technology and craziness that is like our lives now. And like, it's crazy to think like, what would I do if I had a kid right now? How would I raise them? Like the iPad kids. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I would never. But then it's also like, would I?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. I know. That's Should we do one more?
Yeah. All right, let's round it out.
Okay.
I'm feeling so close to you now.
Great.
Great. Happy anniversary.
Okay. If you knew in 1 year you were going to die suddenly, would you change anything of how you're living now, and why?
Honestly, I feel like I would just push the gas pedal more on how I'm living now, because it's like I'm not, even though this was a forced hand, like I'm not working for someone right now. And if I knew I was going to die in a year, I would just use all my money. So that would be great.
Yeah.
Like just continue to like prioritize making time. Like what I've been able to do in the last month and a half is meet up and spend time with people that I haven't been able to in a long time. And like that has been so cool. And like I'm thinking about like for the holidays, like if I don't have a job by then I'm going to go home for like a few weeks, because why not?
Yeah.
I can. And so I honestly feel like I would just continue to do that and spend my money. Like I wouldn't be as frugal. I would plan it so that it can last a year.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't stress even at all about like working, and probably do more volunteering, which is like always something I want to do. And I think it gets the lowest on my priority box, because it's like my relationships, I got to take care of myself. I got to do these chores. And then if there's time, but there's never time because I don't make time for it. So
yeah. Same.
What about you?
Yeah, I'd probably like sell all of my belongings and then just go like be with family, go see things, and just feel the need to do these things that I said I want to do, but I just haven't made time for them.
Yeah.
And go out of my way to connect with people. Mm-hmm. Like I would not feel weird about like going and talking to strangers. Mm-hmm. Whereas like now I'm like, I can't. I could care about what they think. I can't like say anything or that. Like I would just go and like meet as many people as I could.
A year is honestly, if I knew for a year, I feel like that's a good time frame. Sometimes the question of like, if you died tomorrow or if you had like a week to live, it's like, this frantic
anxiety would give me, I'd be paralyzed and I would end up just dying on the couch. I wouldn't be able to do anything. Like,
but a year is a healthy amount of time. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. My last one. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life?
I hate this question. there's like so many things that I feel like I've done, but I think, and I've talked about this before, as how I feel like I always have to say but, like, oh, college but, Australia but, being a sister but. So I think like, oh my God, this is going to sound so bad, but my greatest accomplishment, I think, is like, I'm my greatest accomplishment of just like where I'm at, because I haven't always been the best sister. I haven't always been the best student or the best traveler or the best like person, but I'm like continuing to like grow, and I'm a very different person than I was when I was like growing up. Not different, but I've shifted my perspective, and I continue to grow, and I appreciate things more, and I feel like with growth I've been able to become a better friend, a better sister, a better student, like appreciate the things that I have done, have like a little bit of a better outlook. So I think like just like where I'm at right now, I don't necessarily pat myself on the back as much as I should. So I feel like I have accomplished so much, and so I don't think I can necessarily be like fully proud and feeling like I accomplished college or like name one thing that I've done. I think it's just like me, like I am a, does that make sense? I think that's my answer.
I love that. That is, you should be proud of that.
Yeah,
that is a great accomplishment.
Thanks.
It's a lot of growth.
Yeah,
I feel like that's really hard for a lot of people, and a lot of people like can really get themselves in a rut and like beat themselves up and not like be able to like move forward.
Yeah.
So
because on like some days I'm like, especially recently, I'm like, why did I go to this school? Why did I do this degree? Like, oh my gosh, if I could go back, I'd do things differently. Like, I have those thoughts, so I don't think I can fully confidently say like it was college, even though I'm like, I'm so proud of myself that I did that, or like that I traveled or whatever, that I moved here, like, because I still feel so like, I don't know, there's a lot into it, but then I think like, well, I still did those things, like the common denominator and all of that is me, so me. God.
Me. I really like that. I want to steal that.
You can, but I want to know, what's your greatest accomplishment?
Before you said that, I was going to say, I think my ability to love.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't want to get emotional. It's not that I love everyone. Because there's definitely people that I like
don't love you. Maybe.
Like, I don't just give it out willy-nilly, you know? But I do feel like I've been hurt by people, and I still love them, and I can still like move past things and want to have relationships with people. And yes, I've like set boundaries, which I feel like has been an act of love for myself. And I'm just really thankful to be able to like still have connections with people, even if like they've messed up or I've messed up or what have you, because I think that at the end of the day that like love is really the main thing that we have. And I'm just really proud of myself for being able to like open my heart, even though it has been hurt, or even though I know that I've done like messed up, and not like beat myself up, and like younger me would have like been like, you don't deserve it type thing, or like you can't have this. But I think that I accept love and I give it, and I feel like that's a really powerful thing.
I totally agree. Feel Thanks. Like you're one, if not the most loving person I've ever met. Like, Aww. You just really do. Like, it is, yeah. I don't even know how to say it. It's like, it like radiates off you, and it's clear that you care so much and love. Yeah, like it's, like you said, you don't love everybody, but the people that you do let in, it's like a very strong, and like, it's like, you feel it for sure.
Thanks.
Love it.
Look at us.
Look at us.
It's been a year.
Crazy year. I love it. Yeah, definitely. I feel closer to you already. Great.
Great. Awesome. Well, on that note, we're excited for what the next year is going to bring. And thanks to the day one listeners who have been here.
Mom.
And thanks, Mom. Thanks, siblings.
Yes, thank you.
Random ClickUp employees that have shown their support.
I love a good ClickUp.
It's been good. I've had a lot of fun doing this with you.
Yeah,
So
me
thanks
too.
for taking a chance on this idea.
I love it. It's been great, and this was good.
Well, if you're new here, this is our podcast blog.
Go follow all of our things.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, all of those things.
Leave us a review, please.
Yes,
5
and subscribe.
stars.
And we'll see what the year brings.
See you next week.
See you next week, guys. Love you. Bye.
Yay! Yay!